Hi, welcome back to Charles Legal Services. This is Nate Charles, the founder and managing partner of Charles Legal Services, back with another video on how to handle legal issues by yourself. Today's topic is a special one. Today we're going to talk about the re-parole process for Afghans who escaped Afghanistan and made their way to the United States during the fall of Kabul on or about August 15th, 2021. For someone like me, that it seems like it was just yesterday. But I've had the pleasure of being at home with my family for the last 2 years, and many of you have not. For a lot of you, the situation probably feels interminable. The days must be going by very very slowly when you're dealing with the separation from your families and your loved ones. And I'm tremendously sorry that you have had to go through this on behalf of myself and on behalf of the United States. We want to get you back together with your families as soon as humanly possible. But it has been 2 years, and unfortunately, the asylum process and the special immigrant visa (SIV) process has not gone as quickly as we had all hoped. So we are now coming to the end of your parole periods, and unfortunately, we just haven't gotten it done the way that we should have. So we have to get you guys re-paroled as soon as humanly possible. But the good news is USCIS, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, has adopted a streamlined process for re-parole, realizing that within just a few months here, a lot of your original paroles are going to be expiring. So in just a minute here, I'm going to walk you through that re-parole process step by step. I'm going to walk you through what you need to do in order to make sure that you are re-paroled successfully, and more importantly, well, just as importantly, that you get a new employment authorization document so that you can continue to live and work and provide for yourself and hopefully for your families after your original parole has expired. Now, first, we need to talk about who is eligible. Unfortunately, this program is only eligible to Afghans who were paroled into the United States under Operation Allies Refuge. So, what you need to do is pull down your I-94. You can look that up online, and you need to make sure that your class of admission on your I-94 says OAR, which is Operation Allies Refuge, or PAR. You have to have one of those two classes of entry in order to be eligible for this process. The form that you're going to use for this re-parole process is the I-131 application for travel document. Okay, you are not applying for a travel document, and that is a major theme in this process. Okay, this is a document that was designed for a different purpose. It was not designed for what USCIS is using it for right now, but this is the closest that USCIS had to what for the purpose of collecting information they need to grant you guys re-parole. Okay, so there's a little bit of a square peg in a round hole situation. This is not the ideal form for this process, but it is the one that's available, and so it's the one that they are going to use. Importantly, you can fill this out either in paper form or you can fill it out online, and I highly recommend that you fill it out online. In fact, I highly recommend that if you can find an attorney to do this for you, you should. Now, there are a lot of attorneys out there, including myself, including Charles Legal Services. We are working with several nonprofit organizations in the greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. We are being compensated at a significantly reduced rate by those nonprofit organizations to do this work on behalf of several Afghans who are in the United States right now, and other nationalities, frankly. If you can find one of those nonprofit organizations and get them to hook you up with an attorney, I would definitely do that. If you can find a pro bono attorney, meaning an attorney who's willing to work for free for the benefit of the community, I would definitely do that as well. I would find an attorney to help you with this if you can, but I'm going to give you instructions on how to get this done by yourself if you're not fortunate enough to be in one of the situations. I'm going to start by giving you the instructions for how to do this on the paper form. Okay, that's the most basic version of this. But just know that you can do it online, and I'm going to give you some quick tips at the end on how to do this online if you've got the opportunity. For part one of the form, you're going to enter your personal information. You want to have your A number and your social security number close at hand. You're gonna need that to complete this form. You're also going to take a pen, and at the top of the form on that I-131, you're going to write Re-Parole in capital letters at the top of the form. Okay, again, this is not the ideal form for this purpose, but they're going to make it work. Just take a pen and write Re-Parole at the top. Now, for most of you, especially if you came to the United States shortly after the fall of Kabul, you're coming up on 2 years on the same Employment Authorization Document, the same EAD. So if you need a new EAD, this is how you get one. You're going to get one through this form. Go ahead and also write OAW EAD, Operation Allies Welcome EAD, and that's letting them know that you're also asking for a new Employment Authorization Document. And also in part one, again, I mentioned you have to enter OAR or PAR as your class of admission in order to go through this expedited process. Please make sure from your I-94 that OAR or PAR is your actual class of admission. And go ahead and enter that into the form. This part is a little confusing, all right? So bear with us. But in part two, you are going to select the option that says, I am outside the United States and I am applying for an advance parole document. You're not really applying for an advance parole document, and you're not actually outside the United States. It's just that is the option that corresponds most closely to what USCIS is actually doing for you. Go ahead and select that option, even though it's not true. Select I am outside the United States and I'm applying for an advance parole document. On the paper form, it's option 1.E. 1.E on the paper form. There is a corresponding option in the online application that you can use. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But on the paper form, that's option 1E. Okay, I'm actually guessing a little bit on this aspect of the process. I am an attorney. This is my educated guess. This is my professional assessment. But the instructions that USCIS issued for this streamlined re-parole process were a little bit unclear on this step. So this is my best professional advice. I might be wrong about this, but I don't think it's going to make a difference one way or the other. In part three, I'm sorry, you're going to skip to question 5 within part 3. And I think that you should go ahead and check the box to have your new employment authorization document mailed to the address that you entered in part 1. So make sure that your best mailing address is the address that you've entered in part 1. And go ahead and check that box in question number 5. And once you've done that, go ahead and skip to part 8. In part 8, check the box next to yes on the question as to whether you want to get a renewed EAD, a new employment authorization document. Go ahead and check that box. That will be the signal to USCIS to reissue your EAD. You do not need to submit a Form I-765 application for employment authorization to get a new EAD if you are participating in Operations Allied Refuge, Operation Allied Welcome. Just go ahead and check the box here on this I-131, and that'll be the signal for USCIS to issue a new work authorization document. Then, on the paper form, skip down to part 9. You're going to sign it, you're going to date it, you're going to enter your mobile phone number or any other daytime phone number that's good for you, any phone number that USCIS could use to reach you during daytime hours. Once you've completed and signed your I-131, you want to attach the following documents to you. You want to attach a copy, both front and back, of your current EAD. And then I would go ahead and submit at least one other form of photographic U.S. government ID. Okay, go ahead and take a front and back copy of your driver's license. Take a copy of your passport identity page. And again, if your passport identity page does not have an English translation on it, you're going to need to provide a translation into English. Your task bureau will do it. If you've got a copy, or if you have your task bureau with you, go ahead and take a front and back photocopy of that. Attach that to your form. That should be sufficient. You do not need to submit a Form I-134 Declaration of Financial Support. That's not relevant here. You are in the United States, regardless of your financial status. Do not submit that Form I-134 Declaration of Financial Support. if you are filing this online, the instructions I just gave you more or less still apply. You want to choose the options that correspond most closely to what I've told you in this video, even though the online form is just a smidge different than the paper form. But in general, choose the options that correspond most closely to the options that apply for the paper form. In particular, when you get to the appropriate screen, select I am outside the United States and I'm applying for an advanced parole document. You'll know it when you see it. There are only two options on that screen, and neither one of them seem to apply to you. You want to choose the one that says you are outside the United States and you're applying for an advanced parole document, even though neither of those things is actually the case. You want to select OAR or PAR as your class of admission in the drop-down menu, where you get to select the class of admission. Use OAR or PAR, and select yes, where the application asks you if you are applying for re-parole. The online form is a little bit more specific. It does give you the option of it does come right out and ask you if you're applying for re-parole. Choose that option. A couple quick notes here on filing fees, because I don't want you guys to get scammed. There are no filing fees associated with this process. So if somebody is telling you that there's like a $500 filing fee or a $100 or any filing fee whatsoever, and you need to pay them so that they can pay your filing fee, they are scamming you. Don't use that person. Okay. And along those same lines, non-attorneys, people who are not licensed attorneys in the United States, are not allowed to collect fees for helping you prepare your application. Okay, so do not get scammed. Do not pay somebody who is not an attorney to help you with this. People can help you with your documentation, but they are not allowed to collect fees for doing it. So don't pay anybody who's not an attorney. Those people are opportunists, and especially do not pay them if they're trying to qualify their request for money by lying to you and tell you that there is a filing fee. There is no filing fee for this process. Do not give them your money. That's about it. It's actually a relatively simple process. They weren't kidding when they said it's a streamlined process. It's relatively short. It's relatively simple. It's a little confusing, which is why I'm making this video. But it's not an especially onerous process or one that's going to require you a ton of time. This QR code right next to me here, right over here to my right, is my V card, or we'll take you to our website where you can get all of our contact information, or you can schedule a consultation with us. I am more than happy to help you with this. Like I was a Navy SEAL. I did 3 combat tours in Afghanistan before I got out and became an attorney and formed Charles Legal Services. I've worked with a lot of Afghans over the years. I've had an opportunity to get to know Afghanistan and get to know its people and all of their all of its beauty and all of their beauty as a people. I am extremely glad that you're here. I think you guys are going to make great Americans. I'm deeply upset that I and the rest of the United States and the rest of NATO was not able to give you the Afghanistan that you deserve. But as if there's a silver lining in it, you're here. You're here with us. I think the vast majority of you are going to become American citizens, and I couldn't be happier about that. And I'm looking forward to reuniting you with your families. For those of you who are, unfortunately and painfully separated from your families, but it's very important to me that you guys are able to remain here and live out the rest of your lives in peace and prosperity. So I'm more than willing to help you, whether I'm getting paid for it or not. This is how you get to our website. So that's it. That's it from Charles Legal Services. This video has been about the re-parole process for Afghans who made their way to the United States. The best of luck to you, especially on this one. I couldn't mean it more. I love all my clients, but those of you who managed to get here from Afghanistan, my thoughts and my prayers are with you, perhaps more than anyone else. So please reach out to us if you need any help with this, and best of luck to you. We're rooting for you.